Hi everybody, hello. As always, we'll start very soon. I just like saying hello before we actually get started. It helps me get into the right mindset. So, yeah, let's wait a couple more seconds and then we'll get right into the POSCA markering of the bears for Peachtober. Alright, let's get right to it then. Let me just direct to my hand cam screen. It disappeared. No? Okay. Always a little bit of panic. But hello everyone. It is me, Babinka Bear, artist, historian, art historian, and Sun Bear PNG tuber. See, I'm practicing the intro a little bit more. I think the next thing for me, other than just keep on practicing that, will be for some kind of bye greeting as well. Some kind of farewell. Like I don't know, I can't think of one off the top of my head right now. But I feel like I usually just say I'll see you when I see you, because that's also my IRL goodbye. But yeah. So let's get right back into using some POSCA markers to paint some bears. And this is gonna be today's bear. She's a sleepy little gal. Sleeping on the moon. So this one is, of course, just as a refresher, it's a prompt from Peachtober. Do I even still have the Peachtober prompt list? Let me check real quick. Oh, and actually, let me put on some music. I keep forgetting to put on some music. Today's music, we're just going to go back to the Digimon World lo-fi music. That one's nice and familiar, so let's go ahead and pop it on. So let me see if I have the prompt list for Peachtober. Or did I delete it? Oh no, it's still here. It's still here. So you know those October drawing challenges? This is the one that I was trying, but I'll admit I stopped at citrus. So I might draw a little bit more. I do want to have at least 10 drawings. I think I'm on 7. Hi C-May! Good morning. Nice to see you here. Yeah, we just got started too, so I was just kind of going into detail on... Oh, thanks! Thank you! Yeah, so let's see, I got up to, we did Bee, Cosmos, Sweet, Grub, Sprig, Crater. This one is Crater and Dream. It's a mix of both of them. So I hope to make it kind of dreamy looking. I forgot that I have the Beans the Bear pet right here. I'll keep him next to me. There we go, because he's my beans. And I might draw some more. So let's see, number 11, 12, Pencil, Nest, Ship, Garden. Or maybe I should just skip right to the last one. So we have Float, Moss, and Spooky. I don't know, we'll see. But for now, let's focus on the sketches I do have already. So let's color in Crater and Dream. Let me hide this. There you go. But yeah, let's just make it nice and chill today. I had a very busy, not super busy, but just a full work day. So I'm a little tired, but surprisingly not eepy. Surprisingly so. Let me direct my mic more towards my face. There we go. Let's see what to start with. We can start with the bear, or we could start from the outside in. No, actually, I want to start with the moon first. Let's start with the moon. You're in the middle of work and forgot your tea. Oh no! Do you take like kind of regular tea kind of by itself, or do you take your tea with like milk and sugar? Because I'm definitely a filthy American that loves it with milk and sugar. I guess it's not just, of course it's not just Americans that do that, but I I'm one of those people that like, although I do occasionally enjoy tea, um, I'm definitely not the person that's like, oh, I like the flavor of the tea by itself, you know? I have to have something with it. Regular tea without milk or sugar, that's good, because then you get to actually appreciate kind of like the flavor on its own. Like I said, for me, I always put a lot of like milk and sugar in mine. I'm definitely more of like a like boba and milk tea are definitely my favorite things. Actually, let me make sure that I have the pencil mark so I know where to shade. Even if it's Earl Grey, yeah, like I said, I think that it's good to kind of like appreciate the flavor of the tea on its own. Oh, you blame Gramps for introducing you? Yeah, like I feel like he and like the other Tempest boys have definitely like inspired people to try new things, right? Or at least enjoy things that people have already been doing, but like more so, you know? For me, I feel like it's actually art. like I like have been calling myself an artist, and I've been doing art since like 2018. Or I've been doing it for a lot longer, but I've been like confidently saying that I do art since 2018. But I feel like it wasn't until Tempest that I like they helped me with like a art block. Yeah, they definitely helped me with like getting over some art block from the previous couple years, and just trying new things too. Like, because one thing is I did a lot of the birthday and anniversary projects, and those definitely made me like, it definitely challenged me to do things that I normally wouldn't even try, you know? For one, drawing people is one of those things. Hi Kudaketa! Welcome to the stream. Good evening. We are coloring in this sleepy moon bear. We were just chatting about Sime has some tea right now and said that Gramps kind of inspired them. Yeah. And I was just talking about how like the those projects that people would do for the birthdays and anniversaries, I would join in on some of those, and they really helped me get out of art block plus like my comfort zone. Cause yeah, like now I like I'm not great at drawing people. That's why I usually default to little bears. But Tempest inspired me to draw people a little bit more. And the thing is, I do have experience with figure drawing. I've taken 2 figure drawing classes and I passed both of them. But that by no means, like, that doesn't mean, like, necessarily mean that I'm, you know, like, good at doing figure drawing. Anatomy, like, human anatomy is just hard sometimes. And the way that I draw my hands, I always get kind of scared that I'll get accused of being, like, an AI. Because some of my like hand drawings are like, dang, what happened? Oh yeah, Altair's aquarium project. I saw that. I like, because I'm a sensitivity reader for the project Discord, I get added to, I think, all of them by default. Or I don't know if that's a glitch or not, or intentional, but I just get added to all the projects by default. Because I'm not participating in Altair's, but like I do see the updates. Unfortunately, this year I just don't have time to do Altair's, even though I still love his content a lot. But last year I did the card TCG project. Was so cool. Anatomy never be. Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, I can copy pretty decently, you know? Like, I can copy poses pretty decently, but when it comes time to like come up with my own pose or try to like adjust like an already existing pose, I'm not great at it. Like, I wanted to, there's plenty of online lessons too. There's plenty of online lessons where you can learn how to draw things like anatomically correct. I just struggle with it though. Oh, that's where I was getting to. There's one that I want to follow. I think his name is like Proco or Piroko. Where it's like, if you learn the basics of anatomy, then you can kind of like create your own poses and still have it be anatomically correct. And I think that's where I struggle with, because like I can definitely copy poses really, really well, and I can copy like things really well. Or not really well, like I can copy them decently, you know? But when it comes to making, like formulating my own poses or my own like themes and ideas, that's where I struggle with. Like, I do have a story that goes with that, but first let me read chat. I'm completely awful at drawing. Like, I tried years ago to really learn, but nah, not for me. I get that. Yeah, I get that. Like, especially, you know, like I said, I tried art a lot when I was younger and just wasn't satisfied with it. Come on, give me some more pigment. Give me some more pigment. No, I accidentally drawn it. It's okay. It's okay, we can just cover it up. In fact, let me just spread it around a little. That was a complete accident. But it's okay. The beauty of POSCA markers is that you could just cover it up. But yeah, I remember as young as like 9 or 10, I was drawing Digimon. I remember I had a Gatomon or Tailmon drawing that I was really, really proud of. And I don't know what happened to it actually. I don't know if I like ended up throwing it away or something, but I was really proud of it. But like, I think after a while I kind of just fell off because I just wasn't satisfied with my own work. And then it wasn't until after I graduated college that I like tried seriously again to get into art. And actually, that's a bit of a lie. I took art classes for... Okay, we're gonna backtrack a little bit. When I was in college, I initially went to college for psychology. But then I kept on changing my major just because my interest kept on changing. So for a while, I was actually a graphic design major. And to get into graphic design, you have to take some prerequisites, and some of them are drawing, intro to 2D design, typography, color theory was one of them. I took those classes, so I did take a drawing class like before I graduated college, and I liked it. But it was also partially because I had a really good professor. I'm not good with copy and trying 3D models made me realize how a dynamic pose in models. Ah, yeah. So like that kind of gets into what I want to talk about too. Is I had a professor. She's awesome. She's of the mentality that like if you can see, you can draw. If you can see and you can hold a pencil, some way, somehow you can draw. And I know for a lot of people that seems very like, I don't know about that. But like, she's definitely like a proponent, or she's definitely a believer in that. Like, of kind of like, you know, it is kind of like a matter of a lot of practice and just kind of knowing how to, knowing, I guess, how to practice properly. Because it's really not even just a matter of like, oh, you just have to draw every day. No, not really. Like, as you draw, you have to know, like, what are your weaknesses and how you can kind of, like, improve, either despite those weaknesses or at least get through those weaknesses, you know? It's not just like, oh, if I draw for 100 days straight, I'll get better. Like, yes, you'll start to get more into the muscle memory of certain things, but, like, if you go in for 100 days without, like, really assessing yourself, that's where, like, you know, the drawing might not be as good as you want it to be, basically. I was a hard Kumon kid. My artist capacities were destined to fail since that. Oh, I definitely get what you're saying too. That like, the kind of the dichotomy of like you're either you know, like we call it STEM, or I don't know. I guess I don't know if the world also calls it that, but like science, tech, engineering, math. Like you're either that or you're an art kid, and like. Over the years, I feel like it's a false divide. Like there are plenty of like people in STEM that can also be artists or vice versa, or not even artists, but like get into some kind of creative endeavor, some kind of creative like thing, whether that's like drawing, painting, or like I also have crochet kits in the back, but or creative writing, or making movies, or even editing. I would argue that clipping and editing is also creative, you know? So but yeah, like my professor was very much a believer in that, and like by extension I'm also kind of a believer in that like not necessarily like, oh, as long as you draw, like as long as you can like draw 100 things 100 times a day, you will get better. Like, no, it does take a lot of assessment. It does take a lot of like hard work and practice, and that's something that kid me did not like. I specifically remember I had a Sonic, like how to draw Sonic. Oh yeah, I'm making the bear blue, by the way, but the only thing is that this one's very watery, this marker. So let's see if we can fix that somehow. Okay. Come on. Pigment. There we go. Yeah, it does take a lot of assessment and a lot of kind of like reflection to get into like any kind of creative art or any kind of endeavor. Like, even if it's sports, esports, video games, like everything comes with some kind of struggle. And it's not even just a matter of doing it a lot. It's a matter of like assessing yourself, checking yourself before you wreck yourself. And then see me, I forgot to read out your message, but it's really cool if you're self-taught. That's amazing, because me personally, I struggle with self-teaching, because for me, like, things like deadlines, things that, like, other people might get stressed about, like, deadlines and organizing, that actually helps me stay on track. No, I accidentally mixed in so I guess the brown was still kind of wet. I'll need to wait for it to dry up. I think people who are able to like self-teach themselves a skill are really like admirable, because at least for me, like I said, different strokes, different folks. Something that comes easy to me might not come as easy to other people, but vice versa. Like, self-teaching for me is a struggle. That's why like I used to have things like Skillshare. I fell for the for all the ads. Not fell for them. Oh, you learn good with yeah, see, like, different strokes, because like I think my partner's the same. I think Beans, the one that's being pet right now right next to me, like, he's the same. He's very like likes to work at his own pace, whereas like I really need structure to help me, because I tried Skillshare many times, and I tried like learning things through YouTube, and like I just keep falling off. I just keep on like I'm not even like, oh, I'm good. It's more like I'll try something and I'll love it. I'll be like, I'll take one pixel art tutorial and be like, wow, this is great, and then I'll try it for like 2 weeks, and then I'll just not do it anymore. The only artistic thing you did was a kid was sing and play violin, which, if you ask me, I didn't. That's also, that's also creativity right there. Being able to, because like, it's very easy to fall into the trap of like, oh, playing an instrument is just, playing an instrument is just like, oh, following the notes, right? But there is some creative liberty with it. Like, I did cello, or as Altair calls it, cello. Like, I did cello when I was in middle school and a little bit of high school. And I used to think it was just straightforward, like, just follow the notes, that's it. But like the teacher would always like do those things where it's like, oh, can you mark this in your music to like change this from like mezzo forte to forte. Like, it would start with small things, but then he would like add little notes here and there to just kind of like make the song work more overall for our class. There is like artistic, like creative freedom with that, I would say. And singing, man, I'm jealous, because I don't have any like vocal training, and I'm very shy when it comes to singing. But if you ever catch me by myself, I love to belt it. One thing is that like I do love living with my partner. I love living with my partner and his family, but like I don't always get the house to myself, and that's the only time where I feel comfortable singing. And like lately I've just been like, man, I just want to sing. I just want to sing like a glimpse of us, or what did Altair cover? Everything Goes On, or like a bunch of Tempest songs. I just want to sing. Like, I just have the urge to sing all the time, but like I don't always get the opportunity to do so because I'm very shy when it comes to singing. But if I'm like at a karaoke place or somewhere where everyone's singing, or if people are inebriated, or if I am inebriated, it's singing time, baby. Then I will sing. And what's crazy to me is I think I don't know, like Beans might have told me this. It's the same with Beans. Beans also has a little brother. I think neither of them like have that urge. Like I kind of assumed everyone has like that urge to sing occasionally, but like neither of them do. Because I remember I mentioned like a karaoke machine one time of like oh man, I want a karaoke machine. Like if we ever get like a house, because we live in an apartment. If we ever get a house, I want like a karaoke machine. And like they both seem like why? They're like, oh, for what reason would you need a karaoke machine? And like, I'm just dumbfounded. I'm just like, to sing. Like, why else would you get a karaoke machine for? When Vesper released this cover, it gave me a bit more confidence to sing with your current voice tone. Good to get that. I don't know if I've ever said this, but I like your voice. Like, I've heard your streams, and I've heard you occasionally when like during Taco's affiliate stream. I like your voice. The deep tones are really nice. That's how I feel about everyone's voices, to be honest. Like, it's kind of just my voice that I'm like, oh, I sound weird. But I think it's that thing of like, apparently we hear our own voices deeper because of how the sound reverberates in our skull. And then when we like hear ourselves, I think it's like a mix of like, for one, if you hear yourself recorded, then something about the recording like distorts your voice, but it's also like we're not used to hearing our voice like that. We're used to hearing it like through our skull. But like I'm just a big fan of everyone's voices. But yeah, man, sometimes I just want to sing. And like the dream one day, if I do like get like more into streaming, is karaoke. I would want to do a karaoke. But I just want to make sure that I'm not, for one, bothering the neighbors or my housemates or Beans' family, essentially. That's why I try to watch Moavod. Oh god, my voice is like this. I like your voice too. I feel like I haven't heard it as much as I've heard like Kureketo or say like Taco. I've definitely heard Sushi. I've only heard a little bit recently. Who else? Grace. I love Grace's voice. and their accent too. But like from what I've heard, just I love everyone's voice. Oh my god, I have a funny story from today's workday. I'm just waiting for things to dry, by the way. So today, I might have mentioned before, but I'm a guest teacher, so I go to different schools and I teach like a certain topic over and over again. And so we get like different students every day, and the fun part for me is seeing like how different students react to the same lesson. All that is kind of unrelated to the story, but basically today I visited a class and there was a student who like he had like an English accent, and I'm trying to think of how to like redact my story, because there are certain things that if I mention them, like you'd probably be able to identify like my workplace. Oh yeah, so you know what? I usually pick up the kids and we go to a different classroom. There we go. So we go to a different classroom, and then I told the students this as we were walking, and I was like, oh, we're gonna go to a classroom and we're gonna do some art. And the kid says like, oh, art, that's my favorite. I love art. And he has like this English accent. And the thing is, I don't know why, like, I didn't just assume that was his actual accent, but I assumed that he was just like putting on an accent. And I just imitated him. I was like, oh, it's your favorite, is it? And like I also did like kind of a very fake British accent. And he seemed really excited. Like he didn't think anything of it. But in the back of my mind as I was saying it, I was like, wait, what if that's his actual accent? He's not putting on a fake accent. And I just straight up like copied him, and like I don't know, like my anxiety brain is just like, did I just like insult him by doing that? So we go into the classroom, we have our art lesson, and like he keeps on doing he still has that accent with everything he says. He's like, oh, I love art, this is my favorite thing. And then yeah I hope it's cute. But what I found out later is that there's actually a second component to our lesson. So eventually they depart from my classroom and they go to someone else's classroom. And then my co-teacher, like we met up later on, and then I asked her like, oh, did you see the kid with the English accent? And she started laughing because the kid also has like a one-on-one like behavior interventionalist. And like apparently in the other classroom, The kid was talking with his English accent, and then the behavior interventionist is like, "What is it with you and that fake accent?" And like, and then like my co-teacher was like, "Wait, fake accent?" He's like, "Yeah, he like he has an American accent, but for some reason he chose today to just put on a British accent." And then like my co-teacher would just like busted up laughing, and then she told me, and I was like, "You telling me this whole time I was overthinking whether I had insulted this kid and his native accent. You're telling me he was faking that accent the entire time." So that now it didn't feel as bad that I just like, "Oh, it's my favorite," and I'm just imitating. "Oh, it's your favorite, is it?" And it's like, oh, we're just two idiots like imitating an accent. But to be honest, his accent was really good. That's why I started to doubt myself. Meanwhile, I'm just doing like a fake, like, you know, like Cockney accent. Yeah, the kid was just faking it that whole time. He like spoke like me. He has an American accent. So yeah, that's my little story. The kid. But I just love that interaction too, though. Like, "Oh, art is your favorite. Oh, that makes me so happy." Yeah, I hope the kid enjoyed me like following along. They're like, "Oh, this teacher, she does the same thing I do. She does the wacky accents." Ah, man, it's still not dry. Okay, I'll work on the moon. I'll work on the moon a little bit more while that dries. But yeah, I love interactions like that because like like I said, I see many different students. I'm just gonna cover all of this with yellow, by the way. I see like 100 students a week, basically. If I work 4 days a week, I see 100 students. So like it's always fun because like I said, I teach the same exact lesson every day. But the fun part is seeing like how different students react to it, because like depending on the age group, sometimes they're just bored, which is fair, you know. But sometimes they're really interested in it. And then today, actually, I have another story from today. You going to? Oh, yeah, the Indonesian con, right? I saw this morning that Yago is gonna be a guest. That's crazy. Like, live? Or, well, he doesn't have any reason to do, like, a video meet and greet like the VTubers. I don't know why I just assumed. So I'm assuming, like, he's gonna be there live, which is gonna be pretty interesting. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed, Sime. Because isn't, Altair and Kobo also, gonna be at that one? They're also guests at that con? That sounds pretty exciting. Initially, there's a Viv-ID concert. What the fuck? Yeah. Altair and Kobo, right? Which I saw that Kobo's gonna be part of Axel's newest cover. Pretty excited. A little sad that like it looks like it's like the werewolf, the weremag group, but of course without Vesper and Magni. But I like that, you know, Axel is so wholesome with the whole like you know how all of Vesper and Magni's VODs have been, their comments are all like locked. Like you can't comment on them, and you can't read the old comments either. I heard, I didn't get to see Aniki's, Axel's stream, but I heard through Twitter, the Twitter grapevine, that he like encouraged people to like, first of all, I think he pinned Vesper's comment on, was it Beta and Night? And then he pinned Magni's on, I forgot which one, but he pinned them, and then he encouraged the fans to like, you know, go, I think like or comment on, I forgot which one, but like you could tell that the love for the boys is still there. Not that it was ever lost, but like, you know, I think because like there's been a lot of controversy, or not a lot of controversy, but just like with how the graduations were treated, it's kind of nice to know that the boys still love their boys, you know? Definitely, that's definitely one of those things that like made my day. Let me make sure I'm getting more pigment. Okay. So sweet and wholesome. Oh yeah, but the story I was gonna tell also from today is trying to think of how to say this. So the curriculum that I teach, like I said, I teach the same exact lesson, but there's different like components to it. There's different parts to it. So it's actually like 4 different lessons that I know how to like teach, but like in one day it's essentially the same lesson. One of the lessons has to do with like Maya and Aztec culture and indigenous like American culture. The other one is about like Egypt. Bad at Night and Axel's first cover. Oh, okay. His first Yoi Doresh. I forgot their full name, but yeah, his first cover. Nice. So yeah, like definitely check out those pinned comments. Oh, this is still drying. No, it's taking so long to dry. I wonder if it's I did close the window. I wonder if maybe the weather has to do with like how fast this dries, because this is drying kind of slow. I'll keep that uncovered for now. So yeah, I teach the same lesson, but some of the lesson has to do with Egypt, some of it has to do with like the Americas, and then sometimes like we'll have students that are from those cultures, and it's more so like the Aztec and Maya and indigenous like stuff, where like you're more likely to encounter someone who has like indigenous heritage, or that has like Maya, or like what we call Nahuatl, or like basically like Aztec heritage. But sometimes when we do our Egypt lesson, we do have people that are Egyptian. It's a bit more rare, especially in the area that I live, but it does happen, and it happened today. We talk about ancient Egypt, but we had someone that is actually Egyptian. But it wasn't a student. It was one of those one-on-one behavior interventionists. And it was pretty cool. Like, this guy was kind of sharing some really cool stuff about like not ancient Egypt, modern Egypt. And he was sharing that, like, you know, as a kid, he learned about all this stuff because it's kind of almost like required. It's required for their curriculum to like learn about stuff like ancient Egypt. I was like, dang, that's really cool. Like, because I'm so curious about what the history curriculum is like in other parts of the world. Like, you like whoever's in chat or even lurking, like, obviously, like, when you learn in history class, it's oftentimes the history of your own country, right? Or your own culture or nation. And like for example, in America, of course, we learned a lot. Oh God, we learned about American history so much. It's like embedded in your face. And I remember I mentioned that to like the Egyptian person from today. I unfortunately didn't get their name. Not that I would say it, but I told them like, oh yeah, like we have to learn about the founding fathers and like the year that the Declaration of Independence was signed and all of that. And then he was like, well, yeah, but America's only like 230 something years old. Like, Egypt is thousands of years old, and like we have to know all of that history. And I was like, dang, that's a really good point. That's a really good point, that America's history is actually very small compared to like other nations. So yeah, like we really do only just have to learn about like, you know, we don't even go that much into like indigenous history and indigenous cultures, but like the moment we start with American history is like when the English settlers came in and like, you know, wreaked havoc upon the land and all of that stuff. That's where American history starts, even though it should really be starting with like the indigenous peoples. And then we learn about the colonial period, independence, and then like slavery, and like the antebellum, which is the period after the Civil War, and then like yada 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 yada. Like we learn all of that, as they say, ad nauseum. Remember history class before high school being kind of bad, but I missed CMA. I remember ancient kingdoms. I love ancient history. That's like my favorite topic. Colonial era and post-independence. Ah, I see. before high school being kind of bad. My professors in high school were really good in national history and world history. Yeah, I've always been a little bit more interested in like ancient history and a little bit of world history, but the way it's taught in America is that it's very like West centric. It's not really world history. At least back when I was a kid. I heard that it got better. Like now they actually do teach about the different parts of the world, like Africa, Asia. But for me, like world history was just like World War I and World War II in Europe. Like, big whoop. Like, not big whoop. Like, of course they're important. But when you learn about it like 5 different times throughout your life, it's a little tiring. I understand the importance of it. I'm a historian, for God's sakes. No history, no self. but goddamn, like I learned about it so damn much. To be fair, my high school was like basically university classes in disguise. Dang, that sounds rough though. Like it's always like it's like a metronome. Sometimes like American classes will swing from like the hardest thing imaginable to the most like really, man? Like this is what we're teaching and this is what people are struggling with right now. We do have in some American high schools, at least here in my location, we have what's called advanced placement classes, and they're basically college classes. And it actually counts for college credit. So if you take enough AP classes, you actually don't have to take certain classes when you're in college, which I think is pretty useful. That's if you pass the class. You could be like me, where I took a class called Advanced Placement Biology, and I'm not gonna say I failed, but I did not I did not do great. I did not do great. And then I found out that like I did well enough that I didn't actually have to take a science class in college for my general education, but I took one anyway because the class I took was astronomy, and I really like astronomy. So I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad that like I willfully like took an extra class that I didn't need to take. My 2 sciences actually, because when here in my location you had to take general education alongside your major. It's probably the same in other places, but I took, for my sciences, I took astronomy. And I got to the point where I could actually, I actually learned how to operate the giant telescope that we have. If you were to ask me now, no, I can't. There's too much science stuff and switches and dials, and no, I cannot. But back then, I was able to operate it pretty confidently. And then the other science I took, because you had to take 2 and a lab class, was anthropology. That was also fun because like you get to learn about like the evolution of human beings, especially in comparison to like monkeys and apes. And our professor was cool because she for one, I think her and her dad or something, or her brother, wrote the textbook. Like, and it's not like it's not like a, I don't know, I don't want to say a fake textbook. Like it's a legit one. It's like hardcover, like bound and like published and everything. So she was pretty cool. And a lot of the class was like I think one of her most fun exams was she had the skulls, or like replicas of different skulls from different like hominid species. So like basically the species that like we human beings evolved from. So she had like Homo erectus and Homo Australopithecus. What are the other ones? Oh no, I'm such a bad anthro student. I forgot them. Wait, let me read the comment first and then I'll go more into it. This high school is college affiliated, and basically if you graduate from it, you're basically set for college university. It's also 1 year shorter than most normal high schools. Oh, interesting. So it seems kind of like an advanced, I don't know how to say it, but like, yeah, I guess like the equivalent of like an advanced placement here. But like very kind of like not fancy, but yeah, like a prep school almost. I don't know if I'm using that word correctly, but kind of like a prep school. So to finish off my story about the anthropology professor, yeah, like she would give tests on like the different kinds of skulls for different like primates, like modern primates like apes, bonobos, gorillas, orangutans, and replicas of like other hominid species. So yeah, Homo erectus, Homo what's the tool using one? Cuz now I'm just thinking of Australopithecus. That's like the earliest thing that humans evolved from. Habilis, they're Homo habilis. I'm gonna look it up now. Homo hominid. Okay, that's not what I was looking for. Homo habilis. Ah, they're called archaic humans in Wikipedia. Ah, so it's developed more since I was in anthropology, because I remember learning about Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Neanderthal, Homo heidelbergensis, and there was another one. There was like an offshoot. Pan something? But it looks like here on Wikipedia it goes even further. It goes to like, let's see, Sahelanthropus, Oreopithecus. I don't even know what that is. Oh, some of these are like where like gorillas and chimpanzees like branched off. But yeah, I'm getting very like granular, but basically like we learned about all of that, and then she would give us these skulls or these replicas of these skulls, and our test was basically just identify it. And then it kind of explained like how we know. So for example, like the skull of a gorilla has for one, it has like big canines. I don't know if it's fangs, but it's like big canines. That's a pretty big tip off. But like another thing is that they have what's it called? They have something called a zygomatic arch. They got like a big old like arch or horn-like thing on their head, because they have very strong jaw muscles, and the jaw muscles need to wrap around that arch so they can it powers the jaw muscles so they can essentially chew more leaves, like chew more greenery. Like you need those strong jaw muscles. And to support that jaw muscle, you need the arch on the back of your head, the zygomatic arch. So gorillas have that, and then like plant-eating hominids have that, essentially. Anything that has big jaws and is like kind of like a hominid has that. So that's the one thing I remember. If you were to ask me anything else about anthropology, I would not remember. Is this dry yet? It's still kind of wet. Alright. I'm gonna go more with this color. I'm thinking, because actually what I'm thinking of doing is I'm gonna put more of the shading color in, because actually I'm gonna do some pretty stark shadows. I'm actually gonna use straight black for the shadows, but underneath on this layer I'm gonna put a lot of like this orangey color. Meanwhile, I'm just waiting for the blue on the bear to dry so that I can keep putting more layers of blue. Actually, I should put a little bit inside the lines. And then I also want to shade in like purple, because I actually want to use a lot of soft colors for this. Yeah, I put this on my Twitter, but I do want to stream a little bit more this week. So usually I just stream, or in the past couple weeks, I've only streamed Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and then sometimes those days will change. But this week I'm actually gonna try and stream every day except for Wednesday, because that's Beans' birthday, and Sunday. That's the Lord's Day. No, I'm actually not super Christian or like religious, but I do like having a rest day on Sunday. It's like my brain empty day. That's the day where I play Cyberpunk. That's what I was doing yesterday. I was playing the Cyberpunk DLC. I love it so much. That's why I have any of you guys in the Leaf tent? Did you fill out the Secret Santa thing? Because I just did that right before the stream. I love Secret Santa. I love the holiday season. Sorry, the winter holiday season. Like, I should stop kind of like generalizing, but like, I love like, you know, winter holidays, especially Christmas. And then I'm also a December baby, so so that's another reason why I like this winter holiday season, because it usually aligns with that. And like, I'm okay with getting one gift, like, because I just love the vibe of the season. Oh, you're planning on participating? Cool, cool. I like the questions that it asks, because it asks like what kind of themes and like pairings and characters do you, or not characters, but like streamers do you like? That's pretty nice. I actually like how the moon came out. I'm just waiting for the bear to dry. Can you dry yet? Ah, kind of dry. Alright, let's try it out. Let's try it out. Last year, around this time, I did the, I used to be in the guild hall. And I did the guild hall Secret Santa, and I liked both the gift that I made and the gift that I received. I got, I'm pretty sure the person who gave my Secret Santa was, Semi-Luminary, if anyone knows them. They usually do, projects for Shinri in the Elysium Delivery, Discord. And they do like craft work. So they did like a craft of Cyberpunk Vesper, because, you know, that's the reason why I brought it up, because I mentioned Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is one of those themes that I really like. So that's what I put in my form, is like, I love Cyberpunk things, but I also like ancient history and mythology. But I also like Vesper and Magni. Cool, so I just need to wait for that blue to dry, and then I'll start with shading and stuff. But in the meantime, you know what? I have some gray. Let's experiment with the gray a little. It was my courage test. I'm like kind of nervous. Let's do this. Hello, Grace. Hello, thank you for the raid. Hi, hi. Hello, Nightshade Syrup. Hello, Amaskies. Hello, hello. How was your stream? I wasn't able to catch too much of it, but I saw that you were doing guitar learning, right? Hello, hello. Yay! Awesome. Did you raid like a couple of streams ago? Because I remember like you showed up and I was like, oh yeah, weren't you like, I was thinking that you were streaming like before that. Because I feel like afterwards, like, you had showed up and then I saw Amaskies and then short for lizard, and then like I was like, wait, I've seen these people in like Grace's chat. I tried to, but my account was too young to rate. Oh, interesting, interesting. Oh, that's very thoughtful of you, though. Like, even to just paste the channel link. Thank you, thank you. Because, like, I remember I was, like, sometimes, like, I review my VODs, and then, like, I remember looking back and being like, did she raid into me? And I just didn't get the notification for it. But thank you for raiding both then and now. Thank you, thank you. But cool. Oh man, so you were trying out the guitar? We were talking about instruments earlier, and like we were talking about like violin and like cello and stuff, but like I've always been so curious about like guitar. Because like I remember growing up, I have a cousin who like was learning guitar when we were like in our teens, and he would look up certain songs. Of course, it was like emo songs because we were both emo. What am I saying? We're both still emo. And then like I would watch him like just get chords from Google. I think it was chords, and I just remember like he would just see like, you know, letters like C, D, E, F, and then he would just suddenly know how to play it. And I'm like, well, how did you do that? Because like my only reference with music is like playing the cello, or the cello, as Alter says, and like following the notes and learning how to read the notes and stuff. So like for me, I would need like sheet music, but for him, he just saw like chords and then was like immediately just playing it. I'm like, whoa, how are you doing that? Is that what guitar's like? You got good in high school but stopped playing for 5 years. Oh man, that's like, do you ever feel like when you picked it up again, when you picked up the guitar, did you have like a muscle memory almost of like yeah, you were still rusty but you still kind of had the muscle memory? Because I remember like I only played I only played cello for middle school and a little bit of high school, and then I stopped for a while, and then when I was in my 20s, my friend happened to have a cello in her house, and I was like dropping by for a visit. She let me play it, and I had like this weird muscle memory moment of like, oh, I still remember how to do some of this, like not perfectly, but yeah, I like remembered some of it. A lot of guitar music is tab, which is like they show you which frets to press in the order. Yeah, some of it is still there for sure, just need to get the old hands moving again. Yeah, I definitely feel that. We were talking a little bit about just like you know, like self-teaching ourselves certain things versus like learning something in a class, and I'm definitely someone that needs to learn things in a classroom setting because I need like kind of discipline and stuff. Like I can't be self-paced, but I admire people that can work self-paced. And then we got into this conversation of like wait, how did we get to that conversation? Of like picking up hobbies and then dropping them after like 2.5 weeks or so, because like I would like have a Skillshare account and then I would be like super interested in like pixel art and then just like never pick it up again, even though I did have a stream recently with it. But yeah, when you said like getting the old hands moving again, that's what I thought of like, oh man, I need to like some of the stuff is kind of like muscle memory or just like memory in general that like you can pick it up again and it's the knowledge is still there, especially with something like instruments, which is like literally muscle memory. But there are some things that are like, oh, I forgot how to do all this. But I'm glad though. I'm glad that you picked up the guitar again, was able to test things out. I'll watch the VOD later too. Lately I've been watching a lot of like indie streamer VODs. It's the same with dance. I think I've forgotten, but it's literally in the bones. Yeah, I miss dancing. I miss dancing a lot. In high school, I think I shared this story. In high school I took dance because it's kind of a BS reason, but you could take dance at my high school to avoid taking PE. And that's what I did. Like, I didn't want to run anymore. I didn't want to do the mile run. So I just took dance. But it was really nice. I liked it because our teacher taught us like the basics of things like ballet. What was it? It was 4 things. It was ballet, jazz, modern, and hip-hop. Yeah. So I took those classes and I felt like I was not decent, but like I had fun with it. I liked it, and for me that was like a good way of cardio. And then I stopped for a while just because I couldn't take classes anymore. I wasn't in high school anymore. And then in college, during my master's, I joined a Filipino club and they did Filipino folk dance. You did the same, Kuriketa? Yeah, PE is kind of rough. I admire people that are able to do things like different sports. but I just could not. Anything to avoid the mile run. Or for us, we have the mile run. Do you guys like? This sounds fun. Yeah. The dancing part was fun, and then like the Filipino folk dance was a lot of fun because like there are different styles depending on like what part of the country you're talking about, because there's like Muslim dances, there's indigenous dances from the north, and then there's ones that are more like Spanish inspired. And then there are some that are just straight up inspired by the workday. Like there's a fishing dance that's one of my favorites. It's called pasigin. I'm probably saying it wrong because I have a thick American accent, but but yeah, it's literally like just a dance about fishing, and like traditionally the female dancers are the fish, and the male dancers are the fishermen. But recently, people have been like, saying "f you" to the binary, and whoever wants to be of the fish can be the fish, and whoever wants to be the fisher person can be the fisher person. And it's so cute because the way that they fish, like IRL would be with nets, right? But the way they do it in like college clubs is you get a hula hoop and you put like netting around it, and that's their net, and then they would just smack the floor with the hula hoop. I used to read books in PE in middle school instead of doing physical activities. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if this is the same in other parts of the world, but like in PE, like, you would of course like learn sports, you would learn about health and stuff. Well, when I was in middle school, we didn't learn that much about health. They just made us run. But like, sports, running, all that stuff. But like, I feel like 50% of the class was free time. Like, or like you would have an activity, but then it'd be free time. And like, I think the free time is for you to like check out there's a little place where you could check out a ball. You could check out a basketball, check out a soccer ball. But I think most of the time, like, people just like went to the handball courts and just like chatted with their friends, or like reading, in this case, fanfics. Like, God, to show my age, I have a very specific core memory of chilling with my friends in the handball courts, and we would listen to each other's CDs on a Walkman. That's how long ago this was. And I remember like what was it? This was a specific, like I said, core memory of like, I think I borrowed my friend's headphones so that I could listen to my own like Walkman, I think on the bus ride home. And then I forgot them the next day, and then I said like, oh, is it okay if I bring it back like tomorrow? And she was like, yeah, of course. I said, okay, spank you, like, instead of thank you, because quirky middle schooler or whatnot. I said, spank you. And she went from like smiling to like frowning. She's like, that's what I'm gonna do if you don't return my headphones tomorrow. She put the fear of God into me. I did return them the next day. But that's just one of those like core memories from middle school where it's like, spank you. That's what I'm gonna do. You don't you return my headphones. What are they talking about? Oh yeah, so the folk dance. There's some really cute ones. There's the fishing one. They really were. Headphones really were a valuable commodity. Walkman, still base. I love mine when I was a kid. That's why I still buy CDs. I love the form. I do too. There's like certain nostalgia that comes with it. I remember when I was like very much into vaporwave, like in the 2017, 2018, no, 16. I don't really remember, but like when vaporwave was like new and up and coming, which is funny to say about vaporwave because it's all about nostalgia. But when the genre was still kind of like coming out, people had like bands would release cassettes of their music. Oh, let me mute for a second. Alright, I'm back. So Beans came back from class. He got a good grade on his quiz. So I'm pretty proud of him. But yeah, oh yeah, vaporwave bands would like release cassettes of their work, right? So I bought a couple. I don't know where they are though. I don't remember where I put them. Yeah, let's see if this is dry. It's getting to be dry, so I think we could start putting a little bit of other colors. CDs though, I don't think I have too many of my CDs. I still have, oh man, in the same place where I keep my old video games, I do still have a couple of CDs, and I feel like those are the only that's the only music where like I listen to the entire album all the way through and I know all the lyrics. And it's My Chemical Romance, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, Maroon 5, She Will Be Loved. Even though the main guy in Maroon 5, isn't he kind of cringy now? Like I forgot, but who else? Should I just go find it? Nah, I don't want to find it right now. But those definitely. Oh, and like a really random one. Does anyone remember? Yes, of course. My Chemical Romance. That's the one thing like in karaoke that I I will always sing. What was it? What was the Panic at the Disco album that came out at the same time? It's the Wait, what? Adam Levine is. Oh, you have a theory. You have a theory. I don't know why. Like I read that as like Adam Levine. The theory is that he's reptilian. As in, like, is that a common theory? Is that like a thing? That's like. But yeah. I heard that like Adam Levine did something recent, or like I don't know. He's been problematic in some way. But I do love Maroon 5's like Songs for Jane. Literally destroy your voice at MCR at karaoke. Yes. For me, it's well, it's not on 3 Cheers, but Black Parade, and then oh my god, Teenagers by MCR. Like with each passing year, Teenagers becomes more and more of like a prophecy, or like not a prophecy, but you know what I mean, where like it just gets more and more real with each passing year. I say the teenagers scared the living shit out of me. As long as someone will bleed, so darken your clothes and strike a violent pose. Maybe they'll leave you alone, but not me. It gets more real the more I like interact with actual teenagers. Because like I said, I for those who don't know, I mentioned it a couple times, but I work with middle schoolers, and like, man, fuck, I don't like. Sometimes they can be a fun age group just based off like some out of pocket stuff they say, but like, but sometimes, man, sometimes. I wasn't an MCR kid. My mom basically made me a hard Linkin Park fan. I love Linkin Park. That's another one that's like a karaoke go-to, right? Like, teenagers do in fact scare the living shit out of me. Not the poopy sound. I keep forgetting that that's in this playlist. Linkin Park is also good. It's such a shame about like, you know, Chester Bennington, but also Mike Shinoda's an NFT, or like he was into NFTs and he did like the AI art like music video thing, and it's like bro. Teen scared me when I was a teen myself. Yeah, no, that's for real. Like teens, no matter what the age, can be scary, but I feel like, I don't know, I think it's because I started teaching, like I work in education, and my first teaching gigs were like once a week type things, and it was more like fun stuff, once a week fun cultural stuff. So like for me, teenagers, like high schoolers, they were like the easier classes, because like one day I would be teaching like kindergartners, and you need a lot of energy to deal with kindergartners, and the next day would be like middle schoolers who like if you're outside the US, like 6th, 7th grade, so like 11 to 12-year-olds, and they're moody because of puberty and all that. So sometimes they're like the hardest group, right? And then teenagers are like high schoolers were like pretty chill because like they were, or at least the ones that we had were pretty quiet. And yeah, sometimes they could be kind of cliquey and catty, but like you didn't have to worry about classroom management with them. Like, at least with, like I said, with the classes that we had. I didn't work at like a high school with like classes that were like 20 to 30 kids. We had like 10 kids. So like they were kind of like the easy group for us. So I feel like that's the only time where I wasn't terrified of them. Like now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, oh my god. Like, these kids are wild. Like I said, I teach art. I'm a visiting teacher, and then like I got a message from one of my co-teachers at another site who said like, oh, we have to start like usually like we give the kids their art project and they can take it with them at the end of class, and then like we just tell them like, oh, don't play with your art project like in other classes, right? But my co-teacher was like, we have to start keeping the art projects. Why are you like this? Yeah. But my co-teacher was like, we have to start keeping the projects until after school. The kids cannot like hold on to it for the day anymore because, and I quote, they've started setting fires with them. And to for a little bit of context, like the only thing in our project like that we use is like markers and cardboard. And it's like, what do you mean they're starting fires? Like, yeah, right? Like, that was my reaction too. What do you like? Huh? Fires? Like, these kids are 12. Like, how are you starting fires? A part of it is kind of based at like how, first of all, how, but also part of it is like you're using your artwork. You just made that. Like, it's like setting this guy on fire. I don't want to set him on fire. Like, but it's also like, how? Like, you guys have access to like lighters and you're just lighting up your Picassos and your Monets and whatnot. These kids scare the living shit out of me. As long as someone will bleed, so darken your clothes, or strike a violent pose, maybe they'll leave you alone, but not me. I'm rebelling against art. Hello Ninja Sensei 69. Nice. These kids are wizards casting level 1 fireballs. Yeah, I mean, that'd be a bit more impressive than, like... like, I'm assuming... Do they have lighters or something? Like, that's what I'm assuming. The kids are doing the drugs. Which, if any of you are minors, you know, still... Yeah, don't... Drugs are bad, okay? They're bad. But if you're over 18 and you you don't want me to telling you what to do, then you do what you want, buddy. No, don't rebel against art, though. You can rebel with the art. I guess it depends on the art. If it's, like, weird nationalistic like stuff, yeah, rebel against the art. But yeah, I'm thinking to answer your question, Amos guys, with what? Probably lighters, if they have them. Either that, or they have, like, really good magnifying glass, and they're harnessing the power of the sun. We do live in a part of the world that normally gets, like, 100-degree weather. They're rubbing sticks together. They're very dedicated to the rebellion. Yeah! Probably, man. Magnifying glasses, sticks, who knows? Only in fictional drugs are cool. Yeah, to be honest, Sime, like, a guy smoking a cigarette? Damn. Nah, I got what you mean. Copium, there you go. That's the only acceptable drug. For legal reasons, this is a joke. This. Oh, I thought that color would be a little bit more, like, would show a little bit more, so I'm just gonna use it as kind of a highlight, but I wonder if I have another blue or teal that I can use. Though, there was a school that we visited very recently. And, Mega Bronson, I'll DM you the name of it in Actually, I'll do it right now before I forget. There was a school that we visited one time where, like, the day after we left... Is this Mega Bronson? School I'm mentioning. So I keep saying, like, I'm a guest teacher, right? Like, I'm a guest teacher, and then, like, after a while we leave. I leave the school, and then the day after I left this specific school, it was in the news for, like, a drug overdose, but not like a... not like a, I don't want to say, like, you know, like, it wasn't for a hard drug. It was for marijuana. And I was like, you can overdose on that? And, like, I shouldn't be laughing because, like, there was a kid that was hospitalized, but it wasn't, like, they didn't die. It was more so, like, they just freaked out. They freaked out. But it was just weird that it was, like, specifically the day after, because I remember my mom called me, and she was like, I heard that people were hospitalized at the school that you're at. And I'm like, oh, I'm not there anymore. She's like, oh, okay, well, kids are hospitalized. Which, yeah, you know, like, don't laugh at that, of course, but I was like, I remember my first edible, no! I want to say, I think that's what that was. Like, an overdose on weed, I feel like that's what that was. I feel like they freaked out. Which, once again, for legal reasons, like, I'm not in support, I'm not advocating for drug use, but all I'm saying is, if someone offers you some kind of brownie, don't eat the whole damn thing, man. Like, just don't. That's literally a recipe for a bad time. But if it's within your power, avoid drugs are bad, okay? They're bad. But if you are of legal age and it is a drug that is legal and blah 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 blah. Let's change the subject from drugs. As I draw the sleepy little bear. Let's see, do I have my black... Oh, here it is. Drugs are bad. I also have a micron pen. I feel like this might be better if I use a micron pen. Oh, you know what I forgot about? I actually have... Do I have it? I actually have colored microns. I just kept forgetting to use them. Let me just get them from my drawer. In film class, our buddy had an edible, and we had a movie to watch. So the teacher turned off the lights and he started screaming because he thought he went... Oh no! Oh my gosh. Dang, that sucks. Yeah, be careful with that. That's definitely something to watch out for. Oh, yeah, so here are my color micron pens. So I got these colors. I think I might use them for today. Because black might be a little bit too harsh. Even though I am going to be using black in this. So let's see. Either purple or blue. Let's try blue first. Twitter related, today I did the funny in Twitter and now my notifications have been blasted by K-pop fans when I never interacted. Oh no, I hope it's like, did you like say something that like people like, you know, take offense to, or is it something that's like, oh, you stan I don't know anyone. You I'm so bad when it comes to K-pop. You stan 21? Who do I remember from when my very few K-pop phases? I actually have a playlist on Spotify that's literally called like my 2 K-pop phases. Because I did have like a couple K-pop phases, but it's like all the like top 40 hits of like K-pop. So like 21, Big Bang, The Wonder Girls poggers. Did they do G? Wait, Wonder Girls. Someone please. Who did G again? G G G G baby baby baby. G G G G baby baby baby. Why isn't it giving me the name? K-pop? Yes, Girls' Generation. Yeah. There we go. I freaking love G. Where? Okay, I'm gonna look for my I'm gonna look for my 2 K-pop phases playlist. What are all these playlists that I was added to? And oh, here we go. G by Girls' Generation, Run Devil Run, also by Girls' Generation. Actually, let me catch up on chat. The other way, I thirsted for one of the singers in League of Legends, and they found your tweet, and they oh, oh my God, you stan League of Legends? I was gonna say Girls' Generation, but I thought I made that up. Didn't know I simp for pink-haired rapper anime VTuber. Hey man, she like, did you listen to her new song? I didn't listen to it in its entirety, but new jeans for League, the new boy band song. Ah, I see. I haven't listened to that yet. Is Everything Goes On, is that from League originally? Baekhyun from EXO is there. Is it pronounced EXO or EXO? Because like I said, I'm a poser when it comes to K-pop. Oh yeah, the playlist is G, Run Devil Run, Lovey Dovey by Tiara. I would share this, but it has my like name on it. So like I would share the playlist, but it has my name on it, so I can't. But I Am the Best by 21, Lucifer by Shiny, Fantastic Baby by Big Bang. Oh my God, Fantastic Baby. Wow. Sunny Hill. I don't know if anyone else likes or knows of Sunny Hill. I love them. I was into Red Velvet for a while during like in college. And Haze. Oh my God, I forgot how much I love Haze. I love Haze. And then Instagram by Dean. I feel like that one was very popular a couple years back. And then TT by Twice. I think that's the only Twice song I've listened to, but I've heard so much about Twice. I have so many friends that love Twice. I'm like TT, just like TT. And it was because during, I think I mentioned that I was in like a Filipino club. During our dance practices, they would also just randomly put on like random music, including like K-pop. Like the K-pop that was popular at the time. So that's how I got into my second phase. My first phase was during like the live journal days. Shut up, Mika Frost. It like took me a minute. It like took me a minute. I was like, as a filler. Oh. The only K-pop groups I listen to are I heard Blackpink is really good. Twice. I haven't listened to anything by ATEEZ and Stray Kids. I'm like Titi. Just like Titi. There we go. He's got the little sleepy eyes. I don't know why the video quality gets kind of bad after a while. Hello? What happened to the video quality? No, I'm not gonna explain. I have to figure out my settings. Why it's... Oh yeah, I found out something about like the what I use to share my camera. Cause I have the new iPhone. I found out that I can shift it to like my bigger, like the wider ultra wide camera. There you go. You can see more of my desk. But then that makes like everything else kind of smaller, so... Yeah, maybe bitrate. Let me look at how I'm doing bitrate-wise. Twitch says my bitrate is fine. I don't know if it's just like the camera app itself. Yeah, so you can see more of my desk. Oh yeah! While I'm waiting for stuff to dry. Look what came in. It's the charms by Omona. The Halloween Tempest charms. We got Gavispedal as a vampire, and we have Shinri as a zombie. And I love them. Yeah. I would get my other ones. I have the Magni and Vesper ones as well, but but they're on my bag, which is on the floor. I'm gonna make sure that I'm not showing anything personal. Nothing personnel, kid. Oh no, that hit the mic. I'm so sorry. Ah. See, we got Magni. And we got Vesper. Vesper. And actually, that's the bag I usually bring with me to work. Yeah, the boys. If I had more money, I would get all of them. But fortunately, I do not have more money. I too miss those baby girls. Did y'all see on Twitter there's the sopping wet cat? Like you can vote on the, what is it, like the best sopping wet cat? The ink is, oh, let me make the camera back to smaller. There we go. Okay, hopefully the quality stuff gets solved soon. I don't know what it is, but yeah, the Halloween ones by Omona, they sold out so fast. And like I was lucky that I was able to get some. But I think by the time I ordered, I think Axel's was already sold out. And the thing is, I think I ordered at like 10:01. Like it happened like 10 o'clock my time. And then like by 10:01, Axel's I think was already sold out. Which is like wild. Battle and Magni about to fight again for the best sopping white cat. I mean, it's kind of a hard battle. Like, which one is more pathetic? Oh, they launched at 3 a.m. for you? Yeah, I would. Like, they're really cute. And there is gonna be a restock, but like, waking up at 3 a.m.? Like, man. Yeah, it went crazy fast. Axel's went super fast. And I think next was Haka? And then followed by Battle. And then everyone else. It's also because like Omona's style is very cute. Like when I went to Anime Expo this year to get the shoulder, the bag that I just showed you, and the baby girl keychains, that line was long. That line was so freaking long. It's kind of cute that Axel sold out first. I was certain that Bettles would be the first. I thought so too. I thought Bettles would be the first because, like, have y'all seen those videos that sometimes pop up on YouTube of like, this isn't like a fair, you know, thing to measure by, but have you seen those videos where it shows like who out of Hollow Stars like makes the most money in terms of super chats? Because it's always Battle. Like, but that's not a fair indicator. That could just indicate that like a lot of Battle's fan base like have the money for it. But in terms of popularity, it could really be any one of the boys. Sad that the shipping and custom. Yeah. The shipping is insane. Yeah, Battalion go insane with the Supas. Yeah, I've definitely seen it. I want to say that I haven't been catching a lot of Battle streams lately, but I realized I think he really wasn't streaming that, or he took a break. He took a break, right? And that's all I'll say on that topic. I know I talk about PLs a lot, but That's all I'm gonna say on that topic. Battalions are powerful. They're pathetic sobbing jester. Damn, with that amount of, I feel like it's Battle that's gonna win the sopping white cat competition. Yeah, he was busy. I hope he's doing okay though. Like, I know that he had to move stuff around the week before. And he was like, you know, apologetic about it. But I don't know, I'm definitely of the mindset of like, man, you do you. Like, whatever makes you happy. I don't like it when when our Oshi's stress about like, you know, not outputting enough. I get it, that's their job, but you know. I get it, but I just want them to be happy. Huh. I didn't think to add purple to gray, but I actually like how that looks. But a lot of this is also going to be covered up by black. Oh no, not the auto mod. The auto mod, I'm gonna allow that, but you can guess what. Okay, let me catch up on on chat. I think he should take longer breaks because he works himself. Yeah, they all work really hard. They need more breaks. So, the thing that got caught by Automod was pathetic bitch. Magni is the sluttiest, Battle is the most pathetic bitch, and I love them. Full agree. Full fucking agree. Full stop. Automod keeps hitting me. No! When we use, like... I just love that, like, the terms of endearment, I guess, like, are also synonymous with stuff that gets picked up on Automod. You stupid fucking pathetic bitch loser, sopping wet fucking cat. Affectionate. Affectionate to Battle. I feel like I've never said, like, shut the fuck up, like, affectionately as many times as I did for, like, Magni streams, a little bit of Battles, and then, like, and Randon streams. Like, I feel like that's, like, the main thing that I either think in my head or I say, like, if I'm in, like, a Discord, I'll be like, man, shut the fuck up. Whenever any of them says anything, like, yeah, bye, I think of the, like, you know, like, when a cat is yowling and someone is like, shut that cat up! Like, that's what I think of. Whenever Randon talks about pissing, like, shut that cat up! Me with Orchie, or just, bro, why? That's very real. That's unfortunately very real. Alright, so I think here's my, what did Bob Ross call it? My courage test. I'm gonna break out the big guns. Bring out the thicky boy. I actually have a thicker black marker. I'm just not courageous enough to use it. Look at the size of this lad. It's a gigantic POSCA marker. Actually, nah, I feel like it's gonna, like, make the page a little bit too saturated. So, she thick! So I'm just gonna opt for this one. Chungus marker, it really is. It really is. I'm still trying to figure out what's up with the bitrate, though. Yeah, it seems fine now. I think it's just when I, like, move. See? Like... So as long as I don't move my hand too much. Unless, let me play around with the... The worst thing that could happen is that this switches to front camera. But it's also just pointed at my ceiling, so... But if I mess with the settings... Nah, you know what? I'm not gonna mess with the settings. Okay, here's my courage test. Oh my god, it's so dark. But I also want to use it for shadows on the moon, on the little planet that he's chilling on. But first, how to do this? Okay. Wow. That'd be super satisfying if I didn't just hit my hand on the camera, but... Okay, let's do this. No. There we go. You can change the max bit rate on OBS after. I think 4.5 bit rate is the best. I remember I did that from my Assassin's Creed stream. I changed it during. Let me try changing it right now. Because it might just be the program that I use to like, because this is actually like from my phone. My phone is my camera. Yeah, let's see if anything happens if I adjust it real quick. So let's do 4.5, apply. It's still kind of pixely, but it's not, I want to say it's not as bad. And it recovers a bit quicker. But we ball. Fuck it, we ball. Let's go with this. As long as you can see the little guy that's sleeping. That's fine by me. And actually, let me do this. Take away the clothespin and put it lower. So I was sharing some stories earlier about I had a pretty full day at work today. And one of the most interesting things that happened is that we teach lessons on like ancient Egypt. And we actually had not a student, but a behavior specialist, behavior interventionist, a one-on-one essentially, that is from Egypt. Like he is I guess ethnicity he is Egyptian, and even like nationality he is Egyptian, and like he was sharing some pretty cool things about like Egyptian culture, like modern Egyptian culture. And I was asking him things about like I guess like what do people in Egypt learn about in terms of like ancient Egyptian culture, and he was telling me a little bit about that was all very fascinating. The one thing that I left out is how he like introduced the fact that he's Egyptian, because it was like, to me at least, like completely out of pocket. So like I had just finished teaching my lesson, and what usually happens is I teach my lesson, then I let the kids do their art for like 40 minutes. And then during that time, I'm kind of free to chill or walk around and help the students or chat with their like regular teacher, or like in this case the behavior interventionalist. And as I'm walking around helping the kids, he like looks at me and he's like, "Did you know that ancient Egyptians thought the world was upside down?" I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, ancient Egyptians thought the world was upside down. And he didn't like elaborate. So like my mind was already going to like different places. So for one, like in Egyptian, like I guess like mythos and thought, in ancient Egyptian history, there like there's two like places in Egypt, like two regions. It's Lower Egypt and Upper Egypt, but actually depending on the way that their maps are oriented, and depending on like the flow of the river Nile, Upper Egypt is actually in the south. It's actually more south, and Lower Egypt is in the north. So I thought that's what he meant. I thought he meant that like, oh, their orientation of north and south is different from ours, right? So I was like, oh, it's not really like, it's not really that they saw it upside down, it's that they like yeah, like the orientation of north and south is different, right? Drops Egyptian lord, doesn't elaborate, walks away. I would have been more flabbergasted if he walked away after that. But like, turns out that wasn't what he was talking about. Like, and then like, because the next place my brain went to is like, oh no, is this guy like a flat earther or something? like is this some weird like flat earth type of conspiracy theory? Because at this point he didn't say he was Egyptian. Like, Like I had no idea. So I just thought he was just like a random dude that was just like dropping that random piece of like, you know, his beliefs or whatever, and then just stopped and just didn't elaborate. But then he did elaborate. Then he was like, oh no, what I mean is that like they literally in some of their mythology, they would see the sky as kind of like another ocean. So they literally thought that like the sky was like, or that the world was upside down, that their underworld was actually in the sky in this ocean, and like at night the bark that the sun travels on would go through that sky ocean essentially. Which is like pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing to think about with like Egyptian, like ancient Egyptian religion. It's just the way that he delivered it. He's like, did you know that Egyptians think that the world is upside down? I'm like, buddy, there's a lot of ways that can go. Like, are you talking metaphorically? Are you trying to make like a political statement right now? Or like, is there some kind of misunderstanding? Or are you trying to like get me onto flat earth? Because like, I'm not liking a lot of these options. But then he elaborated. I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool to think about. Yeah. And then he said, I know because I'm Egyptian. And a part of me was like, I feel like you could have started with that. Instead of just dropping, like, if I don't know you're Egyptian and you're just saying that, like, do you know Egyptians think this? I'm tempted to be like, where did you get that information? But yeah, essentially what Mega Bronson says, drops Egyptian lore, doesn't elaborate, walks away. If he had not elaborated, I would have just been to my co-teachers like, yo, we gotta, like, we, like, during the times where we were, like, walking around helping the students, just know you don't have to talk to everyone. You could just walk away. That's a big setup. Yeah, like, it, you know, like, with elaboration, it's like, oh, that's a pretty cool factoid, but without elaboration, bro, what are you talking about? Courage test. Yeah, that was a little bit of my day today, and sometimes, like I said, the interactions with both students and teachers can be pretty fun, pretty interesting. Let me move this a little bit more. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna cover this up just to see how it looks. And then I can also just paint over it. I kind of like... Yeah, I kind of like the striking, like... You know what? I think so I put like gray and purple here. I think I'm just gonna do black over it, and then I'll do the gray and purple again over it, because I kind of like how striking it makes the shadows. It's my courage test after all. Actually, I like that. Let's put some more like of those strokes in there. Actually, I'm really liking working with the Chungus marker. Makes it very striking. I can see why people use like these markers to decorate shoes and stuff. Right before I started the stream today, I watched that one series that people have been making a lot of fan art of on Twitter. The Digital Circus show. Did anyone else check that one out? I like it, but I also wasn't able to finish it before I started the stream. But I've just been seeing so much fan art of the little, like, clown girl. And what can I say? I'm a sucker for, like... I'm a bandwagon kind of gal. Oh no. How do I get out of here? No, not reply. How do I? You know what? I don't know how to do this, like, myself, but I did block the person. I just don't know how to take out the message. So but we can send the bots out into space. People love the Clussy. I have a certain kind of art of the Sorry, I was so busy dealing with the income tax comment. I didn't see that until now. I don't know why the use of the word certain is kind of what's killing me. It's like the I have a particular set of skills. But instead it's like I have certain art. I have certain art of the clown girl. I have a particular set of arts. People love the Clussy, man. Just me going from like, oh man, spam and like income tax and blah blah blah, Clussy. Which, you know, it's not my like. What's the phrase that Randon / like Orc OG uses? Doesn't crank my blah blah blah, but I can respect it. You know, ain't nothing wrong with a good time. As long as it's safe and sane and consent. I forgot what the third thing was, but as long as it's all those things, go for it, man. I heard Clussy and my eyes went wide open. I took a... How do we keep getting into these topics? We were talking about drugs earlier, now I'm gonna be talking about... I took a human sexuality class when I was, yeah, like, I took a human sexuality, like, I think it was either anthro or sociology of human sexuality class in college. It was legitimately one of the best classes I ever took, because I had, like, a really awesome professor, and it's not just one of those, like, oh, hee-hee, we gonna talk about the sexy, a tee-hee, but it was just, like, it's where I learned about, like, not just, like, you know, like, fetishes and stuff, but, like, for example, like, I guess I learned more about, like, because I didn't live the transgender experience, I'm cisgender, like, I learned more about, like, that experience, what that means to people, and then, like, things like how sexuality and even gender is a spectrum, all kinds of... I like, legitimately, like, would say I lived in a privileged like spot in life where I didn't experience it. I had to learn it from a class. But that class did help me to learn more about those things and just be more open-minded about those things. But what was also like pretty interesting about this class is that the professor also had guest speakers every so often, where like the entire class would just be led by someone who was like an expert in a certain topic. And this isn't a new thing when it comes to like college classes, right? But in a human sexuality class, it was pretty interesting because we had a guest who was like part of the BDSM community. And like if you're not like well versed in that community, it can be very easy to assume lots of things about it, that like, oh yeah, they just like torture each other and like that's what they get off on. Yeah. It was a really interesting class. I really liked it. But yeah, that day in particular, like we had a guest speaker who was like part of that lifestyle and part of that culture, and then she told us just a lot about it, that like, contrary to popular belief, it's not just like torturing each other. Like that's where you get into things like safe words and like the fact that it is supposed to be like, ultimately it's a role play, it's a fantasy that like you can, like, once the safe word is enacted, like you have to abide by that. Like it's not just an excuse to like hurt each other, as opposed to what 50 Shades of Grey will tell you. Well, to be honest, I haven't read it. I should follow the Randon rule of like, before I shit on like a novel series, I should probably read it. But that's what I heard, is that like it doesn't abide by those rules at all. And the guest speaker was saying things that like, you have to keep it safe, sane, and then there was a third thing. Safe, sane. I want to say it's consensual, because that really like that makes sense, right? Like safe, sane, consensual. So like safe as in like if you are playing with like things that could harm each other, like for example blades or fire or wax, like make sure that the other person is like comfortable with it, but also like don't take it to the extreme where like you're about to essentially kill them. So safe, sane. I forgot what they meant by sane, but like probably common sense. Like if it seems like it could cause like a lot of harm, don't do it, essentially. And then of course consensual, that like this is ultimately a fantasy, even if you guys are role playing like something that I guess, yeah, like content warning for non-con. Like if you're role playing something that's like non-con, that like it can be stopped at any point, so like so it's not like actual non-con, but it's just like a simulation that at any point, if you say the safe word, your partner has to abide by it. Okay, so like that's the thing. And like if they don't do that, that's not real BDSM, that's just abuse, essentially. That's what I learned from this class. So if I got anything wrong and people know, like, are a bit more in the know, feel free to let me know. I learned BDSM from this one good Edo manga. I forgot the name. Ooh, if you remember it, let me know. Like I said, same thing with the clussy thing. not quite not the thing I crank it to. But I respect. Yeah, all in all, that was a really like informative class that I learned a lot from. I'm trying to remember like what else what other like guest speakers we had. I actually don't remember. But I remember like that one stood out because it was like, oh cool, there's like so many, like misconceptions about certain communities out there. That's also the class where I learned that feminism isn't a dirty word. Which I know, like, might seem very, like, especially if you're, like, younger? Or, I don't know, maybe, like, I don't know. Like, maybe there are some places that still see feminism as, like, a dirty word, but I think it's because of the emphasis on the word, like, femme, like, that like a lot of people are like, oh well, why don't you just use like egalitarian, and like I won't get too much into that because that's starting to get into like political stuff, but that's where I learned about a lot of these things, like through a class. And I know that a lot of people like have to essentially experience this rather than just be able to like learn about it kind of like in a third person kind of point of view, if that makes sense. But it was super valuable to learn that stuff. How did we get to this topic? Oh, Clussy. There we go. That's how we got to that topic. All roads lead back to Clussy. Yeah, meeting more people and learn, like, that's very basic, but yes, like, I mean, not to say that your comment was basic, but like, that's something that should be like a basic fact that people like enact in their lives. It's just like getting to know more people and knowing about their experiences instead of like finding it out through someone that like doesn't know that experience. It's like, you know, learning about like the transgender experience from someone who like is already like hateful of it and knows nothing of it, and they're like, oh, it's mutilation, you know, as opposed to learning about it from someone who is I think that was one of the guest speakers, was someone who is like a trans man, and like their experience was like super valuable. Because like prior to that class, like I said, like I am cis, so like I didn't really know about about both like kind of the struggle, but also like, yeah, just like everything that kind of comes with that experience. I need another blue. There we go. Got some shading colors in there. Let's see if the sun or if the light source is hitting this way. I don't know what I'm doing with the shading. I never know what I'm doing with the shading. Because, like, even though I know objectively, like, you know, objectively, the point of, like, light logic is to, like, okay, if the light is coming from here, how does that affect the subject? But, like, my brain just can't, like... It's like, oh, yeah, then the shading would be here. And, like, I know about stuff like, you know, pillow shading is what you should be avoiding. There's also like reflected light and there's stuff like that, but my brain just can't like do it properly. I think we were talking about that earlier with like, you know, learning art and how like I'm definitely the kind of person that needs like references. Like it's very hard for me to draw something from imagination. Like, I have to be looking at a reference, but unfortunately, I did draw this from imagination, therefore I don't have a reference for, like, how the shading is supposed to be. Maybe... Because it looks like he has a little, like, bowl cut now, or he has, like, little bangs. Okay, let me go ahead and go back over it with the purple. Oh, I actually like how that looks. Oh, you know what? The gray is still a little wet, so yeah, it's okay. Oh, I think I know what I should do. This whole area has to be black. Or at least a little, yeah, a little bit more black. Oh no, the yellow's starting to get on the marker. Oh, you know what? I think the gray should be more here, and this should be more black. Because this is like the shadow being casted by the crater. Which he is supposed to be in a crater, but I kind of messed up with that. Reminds me of that viral image in Twitter and how people can visualize different... Yeah! Yeah, the one with the apple, right? The one where it's like, do you... When I say the word apple, do you see like an actual apple in your head? Or do you see like a blurry version of an apple? Or like a... Or and then there's some people that just don't see anything, which like that is trippy to me. And then I heard it vice versa for people that like can't visualize in their head. They're like, there's no way y'all are actually seeing an apple in your head, right? And for me, I'm like, there's no way you're seeing nothing in your head when I say apple, right? Like, or was there also like a category for people that just see the word apple? I kind of forgot, but to me, when I say apple, I see it clearly in my head. I see an apple. But for me, it's like the light logic like eludes me. That also reminds me of like something about like there was something about a person taking like I think either ADHD medication, and then it was kind of a viral tweet where they're like, oh, the voices in my head stopped. And like at first it seems like just like a hee hee ha ha, like, oh, like the voices in my head, they're gone, like people have been talking to me but now they stopped. And then I remember when I read that, I kind of had this like horrific moment of like, wait, you mean your inner monologue? Like your inner thoughts? Is that not normal? Like I had that moment of like, what do you mean by the voices in your head stopped? And that's one of those things. It's like the like finding out you're allergic to fruit like kind of moments where it's like, what do you mean apples aren't supposed to be itchy? Or like, I don't think I'm allergic to any fruit, but yeah, like that. It's like, because for me, like I do occasionally have like an inner monologue, but it's more like jumbled thoughts. But like, are you telling me that you just, if you're on ADHD medication, you just don't have that? Or depending on the medication, that you just don't have that? Like to me, that's wild. Aphantasia is so scary for me. Like I can imagine everything in my head. I can't even think of my life being unable to imagine things. My inner friend in my internal playlist is not normal. That's me. Like that's me. I'm like, you're telling me that's not normal? Like I remember reading that tweet and panicking because of that. Yeah, real no thoughts head empty. Like, are you telling me like I'm not supposed to be thinking right now? For me, like, not to... does it count as trauma dumping if I'm explaining, like, my perceived symptoms of anxiety? Because my inner monologue is always like, I'll say something, and then I'll be like, oh, crap, I shouldn't have said that. Or like, oh, fuck, they hate me. Like, damn, everyone thinks I'm freaking weird. I thought all people could talk to themselves, and I'm like, wait, is that not normal? Yeah, right? Like, so I don't know if they were just making a hee haha, or if that's an actual thing, because like, and of course there's different types of ADHD, like anxiety medication, right? So it could just be that, but I just remember reading that and having like an existential crisis of like, what do you mean by that? All right, so let me go over this in black, and then let me put the gray in another area. I just can't be head empty. Maybe I can have head no anxiety. That's something I'd like to try one day. If I do decide to get some medication. But I don't know if I could ever be head empty. That's just kind of wild to me. All I know is that my ADHD is a combined type. I'm unmedicated. Med's expensive. Yeah. I keep saying that I have anxiety, but that's just more of like I've never been formally diagnosed, so like it's just like not a feeling, but it's like the symptoms I've heard of anxiety just seem to match like my experience. So I think I should do my due diligence and actually get diagnosed. But because I know there's folks that are like, you really shouldn't be like saying that you have anxiety if you like it hasn't been like diagnosed and stuff. I know that there are some people that like say that, so like I should be doing my due diligence. I recently met a person who doesn't have an inner voice and he can't actually explain to me how he thinks. Man, like that's all these experiences are like, man, I'm just so curious. Like I wanna study you. Like I wanna study what you mean by that. Yeah, same Amos guys, yeah. It's like, based off what I heard, these are the anxiety symptoms, and my experience does match that, so that's why I'm under the impression that I have it, but it could very much just be something else. Yeah, you know what? I thought the black would be too striking, but I think black is the move. If I'm using black for, like, these, like, super stark shadows, I might as well use it for the bear. Actually, I like that. Yeah, the black actually makes it, like, more a part of the RPs. You know what I need? I need the clothespin back here. Ah! There we go. I don't know, I just can't imagine people not being able to hear a song in their head just by thinking about it. Is that, yeah, that's the thing now, is like, now I don't know what's normal. Because like, based off like the people that I've like spoken to, it seems to be more normal to have like some kind of inner monologue, inner dialogue. And then it's even in media, you know, like I think of The Simpsons, where it's like, you know, people will be like thinking to themselves like, oh, I just said something not good. You know, it's specifically an episode of The Simpsons where Homer, he's told that he's slow. And then, like, he has this inner monologue of, like, wait, something was just said. Did they insult me? What the hell? And then, like, it cuts to, like, hours after the conversation was had. And the person is like, are you still here? You really are slow. And then he goes to another inner monologue and he's like, someone said something not good. And then it cuts back to Lenny, the guy talking to him, being like, get the hell out. Normal is overrated? Yeah. Embrace having Hillsong music suddenly in your head as you're in the middle of sauce digging. Just like me, for real. Yeah, like, how do you not have, like, a song stuck in your head constantly? What was the one I had stuck in my head today? I did have one stuck in my head. Was it, Woven Fates? The trio of songs that was released during, Tempest Week, like, they're constantly stuck in my head. We them boys, we them boys, we them boys. It's over. We them boys. Running like dun-dun-dun-dun. Or however Shinri's Park. Oh my god, I remember the preview for Flex was just kind of like whatever. And then the actual song for Flex was like, oh my god. This is amazing. At least in my opinion. The song is so good, I spammed it like crazy for 2 weeks. Yeah, me with any like Tempest cover or Tempest original song. Yeah, We Them Boys are on Ikki's version. Yeah. Shinri rap. Oh my god. Running like no. I do like rap. It's just harder to like recite in my head. I was so into Hamilton. That's my. There we go. That's the big secret revealed. I was very much into Hamilton, and I used to be able to do the Schuyler Sisters. I used to be able to what was it, the one song with the marriage? How have I forgotten so much already? A toast to the bride. Why am I so forgetful when I'm streaming? Satisfied. Satisfied. Let me see, can I still do the rap? So that's why Hamilton. I loved Hamilton. Can I do the rap? I remember that night. I remember that night, I just might regret that night for the rest of my days. I remember those Soldier Boys tripping. Okay, I need to hear the song. But I'm gonna get DMCA'd, so let me just mute the YouTube music for a hot second. Okay, did the music just stop for y'all? Cause I just I just turned it off, but hopefully I don't get bonked for it. Satisfied, Hamilton. Okay, cool. So you don't hear the music, but I can still hear the music. For the rest of my days, I remember those soldier boys tripping over themselves to win. Oh, that's not the fast part, though. Where is it? So this is what it feels like to match with someone at your level. What the hell's the catch? It's the feeling of freedom, of seeing the light. It's Ben Franklin with the key and the kite. You see it, right? The conversation lasted 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, everything. Oh my god. It's a bit of a posture, it's a bit of a stance. He's a bit of a flirt, but I'ma give it a chance. I asked about his family. Did you see his answer? His hands started fidgeting. It looks, it's penniless. He's flying by the seat of his pants. Handsome boy, does he know it? So that was the fast part. Okay. Cool. Okay, let's put the YouTube music back on. That one goes so fast, but I remember I liked it a lot. Back to Digimon. Yeah, you like that? I used to be able to do it like without like the intro, like on command almost. But that was back in the day. But yeah, the lyrics are so good in Hamilton. I know it has its fair share of controversy. Lots and lots of controversy. Same with Lin-Manuel Miranda, but I love it. Not the controversy, but Hamilton. It definitely helped, like, I taught history back then too, like when this first came out, and I remember my students are the ones who introduced it to me. I taught at another school where I had like consistent students, and like they told me about it, and it actually like helped them with like their history tests, because like they would have dates and stuff of like American history. So yeah. And then like growing up, I also listened to like Eminem and a little bit more rap music, but that I can't do as on command. Okay. What else to add to this? Because I feel like we're hitting the tail end now. Oh, you know what? A little bit more orange. So I do want to go for at least like 15 more minutes, and then I think we'll call it. Actually, that's not a deep enough orange. Kinda. I think I'm just gonna focus on the bear for the rest of our time. Just focus on the bear. I think let's add some more black shadows. Ah, there we go. Some of them should have some kind of like crater. Alright, I think I'm gonna just add some stars, and then I think after that, we might call it. Cause I don't have much else to add or adjust. I'm pretty satisfied with how it looks. So I think, yeah, I think just adding some stars might be the move. And actually, let's do this. You guys know that kind of a cliche, oh, you like the color combination? Nice, I'm glad. There's like this kind of cliche saying of like, oh, shoot for the, is it shoot for the moon? Because even if you miss, you'll still land among the stars. And it's supposed to be this like really inspirational like phrase, right? It's also not astronomically accurate because it's like, hate to be the that well actually person, but like the moon, or is it like either shoot for the moon or shoot for the sun? And but either way you'll even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Both the moon and the sun are like literal light years away from any other stars. But I remember I told people that before, and like instead of being like, oh, don't be such a killjoy, like they like started to intentionally like F up the saying, and it just kept getting like worse and worse. Because I remember someone said something like, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll hit the fucking sun. It's like, now that's some words to live by right there. I think they just kept on fucking it up with like, oh yeah, said by Abraham Lincoln. Or I think it was like said by Ben Franklin at the Gettysburg Address or something. Like something like completely inaccurate. Just remember, y'all. Shoot for the sun. No, shoot for the moon. You might hit the fucking sun. Okay, let's add some more colors and brightness to that. I keep hitting the camera. There you go. I gotta rethink my setup so that I hit the camera like way less. The thing is, if I like move it here, then you can't see the entire thing. Like I'll hit it less, but you can't see the entire thing. So I just gotta figure out how to like position my camera. Ah! I hit my nail. Actually, let's add some stars that are not yellow. I mentioned that, like, when I was in community college, I took, like, you're required to have, your general education, general ed classes, and, so that means even though I did history, I still had to take, like, some science classes. And the science that I took was astronomy. I really, really like astronomy. I remember learning that there can be stars of, like, technically any color. Well, like, so it's pretty straightforward, like, you know, red stars, blue stars, because, like, after fuel burns enough, it, like, the color shifts from, like, red to blue. So, like, a really hot fire is blue, right? Some of this you kind of just know from, like, Earth physics, essentially. But I remember someone in my astronomy class had asked, like, oh, then how come we don't see green stars? Because we have, like, every other color except for green. And I think their answer is that actually, like, there are green stars, but our eyes don't, like, see it as green. So, for example, I think, like, currently our star is technically green, but, like, it's something with, like, the way that our eyes, like, register or, like, see the wave, the what is it? wavelengths. Like, however, you know, light is seen or picked up by the human eye. It's something about that, like we actually just can't see it as green. That's why it more appears as like a yellow or like a white to us. But alright, I think we're pretty much done. Actually, sorry, one more thing. I keep getting like bugged by the shadow next to the bear. So let's do this. Let's have it so that bear has a little bit more shadow around it. You like it, Sime? I'm really happy. Light refraction. Yeah, there we go. Refraction is really interesting. Yeah. I think, yeah, it's the way that the light refracts, basically. But alright. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Who knows? I may add to this, but otherwise I'm pretty satisfied with how it turned out. So, yeah. In that case, get one last look. We have the cool stars here. We have our sleepy bear. And yeah, so I think we'll call it for today's stream. Like I said earlier, I do want to stream more this week, so I'm actually gonna be streaming every day except Wednesday. And for folks in C or Australia, that would be the next day. That would be Thursday. So, so today's Monday for me, but I'm guessing Tuesday for the folks that's in Southeast Asia, Japan time, Australia time. So I'll be streaming tomorrow at the same time, 6:30 PST, 10:30 JST. I'll be doing Digimon World. Yeah, I'll be doing Digimon World. The day after that is a break. We're gonna be celebrating Beans' birthday, the bear that's being pet right next to me. It's his birthday. Wish him a happy birthday. Thursday I'll be back with a game called Four Last Things. Friday, pixel art, and then Saturday, I'm gonna be learning some Spanish, some Espanol, with Duolingo. So expect that, look forward to that. But otherwise, thanks everyone for joining in. Thank you, Mannerisms. Thank you, Grace, for the raid, and then thanks for the follows. Let's see, who followed me today? I believe it was Ninja Sensei 69. Nice. Thank you for the follow, and thank you everyone who was chatting in stream, everyone who's lurking, everyone watching the VOD. So with that, let's go ahead and go to our ending screen. Thank you once again. And as usual, I'll see you when I see you. Let me see who I can raid into right now. Thanks everyone. Thank you. Kuriketa, Amaskai, Sime. Thank you. And Omega Bronson, if you're still here. Thank you. So let me stop raids. Let me see who we can raid into. Oh, is no one streaming right now? Oh, no one I follow is streaming. Does anyone want to recommend one? Recommend someone to raid into? Let me go ahead and stop the music. If not, if I don't hear a response within the next 10 seconds, I'm just gonna end it. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and end stream. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.